How you doing, everybody? It's Terry, TJ Maxx. I want to do a real quick video. Just went to Nashville to, luckily we got tickets to go to the CMA Awards, Country Music Awards, and was able to go and sit in a suite. How sweet is that? Had a suite, all the booze and food we wanted to eat, could walk around, get up and down, and see a lot of great performances. The standout performance was Chris Stapleton, Mavis Staples singing "I'll Take You There," and Ricky Skaggs. He had just gotten inducted into the Country Hall of Fame, and he shredded it on banjo and guitar, sang a bunch of songs with a couple different groups, and I don't know if anybody saw it, but it was killer. It was killer live being there. So we had a great time. Went out to Broadway Street in Nashville, which I'd never done, and it is quite the party. It felt like I was in New Orleans. But so I went to Grimey Records. Grimey's had recently moved. They used to be in an old building that everything was very crowded and hard to find, and so they moved to a new location, different part of the city. It's an old church, so it's the records are in the chapel, and they actually rap and reggae are up on the where the altar was. So it's 2 stories. There's upstairs, downstairs, and everything was easy to find, easy to lay out. My only complaint was that they had Metallica playing really loud while I was in there, and it just was too nerve-wracking for me. I'm not a big metal fan, so other than that, everything went well. I had a great time. So recently, Dylan from Noble Records, it showed this records, Fear Itself. I did not own it, but this is Ellen McElwain, who I did know. She was pretty famous in the late '60s with a couple of hits. Everybody Wants to Go to Heaven, Nobody Wants to Die, and she also had a hit with I Can't Find My Way Home from Blind Faith. And so I found this record there. This contains that song on it. Ellen McElwain, Honky Tonk Angel. She also sings that song. It wasn't God who made it, Honky Tonk Angels. Ellen McElwain is a kind of a, for lack of a better term, a little bit of Janis Joplin-y, kind of a rough voice, but plays guitar and also plays harp as well. And this was $4. I also found in the used section Josh Rouse, singer-songwriter, writer from Midwest, now living in Spain. He's been in Spain for the last 2 years, and he's kind of mellow singing and with a touch of electronica, especially. This album, The Happiness Waltz, came out in 2013. His most recent, which I didn't pick up at Grimey's, but I already owned. This is his most recent, Love in the Modern Age. This is really, really a good album. I like this album a lot. And so it's Josh Rouse, if you're into singer-songwriters. The other one I picked up, the Josh Rouse was $10. The Revivalist. So I get a lot of records in the mail because on eBay, Discogs, whatever. So my mailman knows I'm really into music. He asked me one day if I'd ever heard of the Revivalists. I said no, and I checked them out, and they're pretty good. They remind me of the Subdudes. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but they're kind of a New Orleans rock, soul, funk group with vocal harmonies, and these are kind of along the lines of that. So this is a brand new album. I haven't heard anything off of it. And it was $24. So I'm really into Thievery Corporation. They're down-tempo electronica stuff, dub-tronica. This is one of their earlier albums, Sounds from the Hi-Fi, and I have this on CD. I didn't own it on vinyl, and I'm trying to get all their stuff on vinyl as well. So Thievery Corporation, I want to do a whole video about them. They're worth it. If you haven't heard of them, you like down-tempo music, check them out, Thievery Corporation. This was $24 as well. So this is kind of an interesting. I found this in the used section. This was 18 bucks. Or Zackel, if that's how you pronounce it. I looked it up on AllMusic, and I said it was psychedelic. It said it has Steve Hillage and Dave Stewart in the group, which went on to be in Gong and Egg. And so I went, hey, I'll give it a try. The problem is I haven't heard it yet, but on the back, they list the people playing. They don't mention Steve Hillage or Dave Stewart or anybody like that. They mention Simon Sarsaparilla on lead guitars. So I don't know what the story is. If somebody out there knows why this doesn't have Steve Hillage's name on it, because the song listing is the same listing for the album they say Steve Hillage is on. And I haven't heard it yet, so I would probably recognize. I'm familiar with Steve Hillage, his guitar work. So it'll be kind of interesting to find out, and why. Somebody let me know in the comment section why the bass player is Niragi Gatagaka. So go figure. Anyhow, we'll look forward to hearing that. So I was excited to find this compilation, the Deutsche Electronic Music, experimental German and electronic music from 71 to 81. There's a whole series. This is on Soul Jazz Records. If you're into German music, krautrock, spacey German rock and roll, whatever, this series is really, really good to whet your appetite and learn about all the different artists. Plus, a lot of these albums or these songs that are on here, the albums are hard to find or very expensive. So it's a chance to get to listen to them at a reasonable price. This was $32. It's a double album. And dig this. So this is number 3. Says, that's all, folks, the last one. Now, I've got the whole series. This is record A. And this has got Can, Harmonia, Gila, Collective, Papa Vu. And so this is record A. So that's 1. Here's number 2, volume 2, which has Cluster, Bliss, Ashra Temple, etc., etc. The other thing that's really nice about these is that inside, the liner notes tells you all about the bands, the history of German rock, and the reason they got together in the first place and started making this music. It all stems from World War II, believe it or not. So this was 1, this was 2. Oh, this is record B. Now, record B is the same as volume 2, which I didn't realize when I bought it. So I've got 2 with the same songs on it, but one says record B and one says volume 2. All right, so that's 1, this is 2. Here's 2, or is it 3? This is volume 2, the 3rd album. No, but this is 3. Anyway, you figure it out. They're all good, they're all excellent, and it's a real good chance to get to learn about German music if you're into it. So one of the groups on there, and of what I've been into before, is the group, I call them new. I've heard them pronounced differently. I'll go with my pronunciation. I think this is their 3rd album. They had all 3 there. They've got the white one. They've got the white one with the 2 across it. And then this was the 3rd one. And this was only 20 bucks. So that's why I grabbed this one. And I like their music a lot. So also on these albums is the group Cluster, which is Rodelius and Mobius's group, Cluster, which is they're famous, the history of Rodelius, yeah, is insane. That guy goes way back. He goes back to Stockhausen, which, if you're a Beatles fan, Paul McCartney used to be really into Stockhausen. So the history is just amazing how it all kind of intertwines. So this is a Zuckerwright album on Cluster. This was 25 bucks, has the CD. Look forward to listening to that. And then the last two I got were also from the German music collection, the Popol Vuh, Messa de Orifo, and For You and Me. So Popol Vuh is on these collections, plus Nico Malcolm loves Popol Vuh, and hey, if Nico likes it, what the fuck, you gotta listen to Popol Vuh, right? So I'm looking forward to opening those up and having a glass of wine and checking them out. Anyhow, that's about it. That's what we got from I got from Grimey's. Had a great time, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.